It's basic to care about a country and its people. It's hard to say which is more important, whether you have a country and you have a people or you have a people and you have a country. Both are important. When a country is in crisis, its people must come together. When something happens to its people, the country must take responsibility for its people. This is evident when something happens to its people in a foreign country. If your people are being held for no reason in a foreign country, you must rescue them, regardless of the reason. Failure to do so destroys basic faith in the state. Recently, we've seen quite a few movies in Korean cinema about countries defending their citizens. We've seen a lot of these kinds of movies, mainly in Hollywood, and things that were previously unknown are being revealed over time. Recently, there have been a lot of movies related to the Middle East, especially Mogadishu, Negotiation, and now Unofficial Operation. All three have one thing in common: they are about South Koreans trapped in a country in the Middle East and trying to escape. This is not a recent story. It's from the mid-1980s to the mid-1990s or so. And it's just now being made into a movie that we're getting to know something that was very much blacked out and hidden at the time. We're getting to know the efforts that South Korea was making to protect its citizens when we had no idea. The movie is also more suspenseful because it actually happened. The story takes place before South Korea hosted the '88 Seoul Olympics. It's a time when the country is all in on the Olympics, and a foreign ministry official is kidnapped in Lebanon. There must be a reason for the kidnapping, because for over a year, there were no demands. The country thought it was strange, but Lebanon is in the middle of a civil war, so the consulate has been evacuated and there are no personnel left. We thought he must be dead. Then we get a call from an unknown caller. He doesn't speak, but identifies himself with a Morse code-like signal. Lee Min-jun Ha-young-woo takes the call and informs the higher-ups. They know they need to save her, but the first thing they need to figure out is if it's real. We can't officially give money to the kidnappers. I don't know if this is true, but whenever I watch movies, they always try not to show you officially giving money to terrorists. I think it's pretty much the same in South Korea or any other country, because if that gets out, you're probably going to be targeted and kidnapped all over the place. At the time, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs was the most powerful department, and if the Foreign Ministry wanted to go to Lebanon, there's no way they could do it. The ministry says they'll do it. That's when Min-jun offers to go himself, because he's a bit annoyed at the foreign ministry a junior officer with a lower rank than him is sent to London. He thinks it's because he wasn't part of a certain group, and in a situation like this, the best thing to do is to show results. He goes to a former CIA agent with connections in Lebanon to find a middleman. Luckily, it turns out that the actual chief of mission is alive and well. The misfortune here is why the attaché hasn't been contacted until now. It turns out that he was actually trying to kidnap a Japanese, not a Korean, but it was a mistake. Even after kidnapping him, there was a power struggle within the organization and they forgot about him. They found out later and demanded money. To deliver the money, Lee Min-jun goes to Lebanon again. When he arrives in Lebanon, all kinds of difficulties await him. The Lebanese airport police and the current gangs know that he has arrived in Lebanon with a large amount of money. If they catch him, they get the money. If you catch the minister, you get the money. From the day he arrives, this becomes known, and Lee Min-jun is unexpectedly publicly wanted in Lebanon. When all the Koreans in Lebanon, including the consulate, are evacuated, there's only one left, Kim Pan-soo Ju Ji-hoon, who can't come back to Korea and is driving a taxi there and settling down. Perhaps at that time, there was less awareness of how many Koreans were in a country like Lebanon. The taxi that Lee Min-jun took to escape from the airport was driven by Kim Pan-soo. If it was a different movie, I think Ha Young-woo or Ju Ju-hoon would have done the action. They would have been able to show off their coolness with flashy action. In this movie, there's none of that. They're both very normal people, just running around and trying to survive. They can't even fight back because there are multiple organizations trying to catch them in Lebanon, and they're shooting at them. Still, the action scenes are pretty cool to watch, mainly the car action at the end of the movie. It's a car chase where they're running away from the organizations that are trying to catch them. There's also a shootout scene where the Lebanese locals take out the other guy. It's a very realistic portrayal, and I think it would have been less interesting if Ha Ying-woo or Ju Ji-hoon had joined in each gunfight. Obviously, the fact that the movie is based on reality makes it more immersive. When you're trapped in Lebanon with nothing to do, no phone, and nowhere to run, and they say it was filmed in Morocco, you realize that Korea is now good at filming overseas. In this movie, Ha Ying-woo doesn't look like a hero, but a government official. Ju Ji-hoon also shows a little bit of a crook, and he shows a little bit of humor, and their chemistry is good. Except for the two of them, most of the actors are foreign actors, so their performances weren't bad. At the end of the movie, they show that Th.